A few years ago, I reviewed the Yamaha YBH-301 student and intermediate baritone horn, but today we do a long overdue review of its venerable marching band cousin, the 301M. How's it going, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to the Samuel Plays Brass channel with your host Sam, and welcome to another issue of Scholastic Brass Month Part 2 Electric Boogaloo. In case you need a recap, throughout the month of August, we've been talking about various brass instruments that you should consider upgrading or stepping up to if you've been playing for a few years and are starting to get serious about your craft. Thus far, throughout the month, we've talked about the trumpet family, the horn and mellophone family, and the trombone family. So throughout the rest of August, and let's be honest, probably a week or two of September, we're going to be talking about baritones, euphoniums, and tubas. Now, before we get started today, I'd like to ask you for one small favor. Please check to make sure that you are actually subscribed to the channel. We are coming up on 15,000 subscribers, which is a huge milestone, but you'll notice the vast majority of my usual viewers are actually unsubscribed. So if that happens to be you and you go on to enjoy this video, no pressure, but I would love to see you be part of making history on the Samuel Plays Brass channel. Without any further ado, let's talk about the Yamaha YBH-301M. The 301M is a typical marching baritone constructed on a .571 inch bore at the valve section as well as a 10-inch bell. One unusual feature about it versus other marching baritones is the fact that it has a large shank mouthpiece receiver as opposed to the small shank that you typically find on most of these things. It'll typically be supplied with a Yamaha 48L mouthpiece, which is similar to a 6.5 AL on the Bach scale, but for the purposes of this video I was using the slightly wider and more open 51L by Yamaha. That's a cool mouthpiece I'll be reviewing at some point. I have it all filmed, I just need to wait for all this scholastic mess to be done, right? In any case, there are a few special features on the 301 that I'll note. Similarly to the Yamaha YMP-204 mellophone, on the first slide but not on the third, we find a shunt for ease of intonation correction on the go, very handy to have. But on the third slide, while we don't have that, we have a lyre holder so that you can have your music with you on the go. The main tuning slide of the 301 is located under the first slide. The instrument also has 3 different water keys spread throughout the instrument, so plenty of condensation emptying opportunities. The whole instrument is relatively ergonomic and quite lightweight, which I should mention is due to rather thin metal, and that trails nicely into some of the cons of the instrument and its features. First of all, the 301 is known to dent and warp rather easily due to that thin metal, and also the valve action is subpar on quite a number of them, and the throw of the valves, as in how far you push them down, is almost excessively long. It is a bit of a hike from top of stroke to bottom of stroke. The 301M is a very easy to play and free-blowing instrument, particularly if you find the right mouthpiece. I don't like how they play with the provided 48s. I think they play a lot better with that 51 I was using. But in general, they are very responsive horns across all of their octaves, but I would say particularly in the middle and high registers. The intonation, like on the 204 mellophone, is a little troublesome down low. I think that's the case for a lot of marching baritones, but this one, it definitely is a little bit of a game of just how fast can you jimmy that first slide shunt between all your crazy valve combinations. I will say this instrument has very impressive clarity in its runs and fast articulations. That's probably a consequence, although a more positive one, of it being a fairly lightweight instrument compared to some. And the sound quality of the instrument I found to be very full and rich in high overtones, and it was easy to push to a true marching baritone sound, while it could still retain some milder euphonium-like qualities in the softer dynamics. Particularly if you're a first-time marcher or first-time marching baritone user, I think the Yamaha YBH-301M is a very solid choice and probably, honestly, one of the better ones you can play. Its lighter weight construction makes not only for a very pleasant, at least relatively speaking for baritones, holding experience, but a very pleasant and responsive playing experience. The 301 is a very responsive horn with good projection and ease of sound production, and it's easy to get that nice edge in your sound on the field, which is very handy. Additionally, these instruments are very likely in the spirit of Yamaha's to be very consistent from one to the next. So if you're buying 10 marching baritones for your high school or college inventory, and you buy 10 YBH-301Ms, they're all very likely to be very much the same instrument and to blend very well together. However, I really need to provide the caveat that you need to be cautious and take good care of this instrument, whether it means oiling the valves every time you use it or making sure you don't throw it around too much on the field. It is really paramount that you take good care of this instrument and provide it with the TLC it needs. We serviced 8 of these instruments in a big batch at Clearwater Music, and this instrument was part of that big batch. We serviced a lot of really bad dents and slow valves on this round of Yamahas. So please, if you play this instrument, for the sake of your repair tech, please take good care of it. That'll just about do it for the Yamaha YBH-301M marching baritone. If you enjoyed this review and learned something from it, make sure to leave a like and a comment down below. And once again, if you're one of my very many unsubscribed viewers, please consider joining the club in time for 15K. This is a huge milestone and we're coming up on it fast. I'm very, very excited and thankful for all your support. If you want to see more instrument reviews or more issues of Scholastic Brass Month, you can find the playlist up in the top right corner in the card. Until next time, on the next issue of Scholastic Brass Month, we will see you... We will see you... There it is, on the flip side. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you want to support the creation of bigger and better content on the Samuel Plays Brass channel, have your name featured right here, and a whole host of other perks and benefits, then please consider pledging your support at patreon.com/SamuelPlaysBrass. For now, you can find more videos in the end screen cards to my left.